And we're not going to be able to put out what the Most High is really requiring of us. It's time to build integrity. And this is what the book of Acts is all about. If you really get off into the book of Acts and you read a lot of the events that took place in the book of Acts, I believe it's like and it is ironic that they would call it the book of Acts. The book of actions is what I like to call it, because a lot of actions took place in the book of Acts. I mean, the Most High, his hand was really seen in this book in many ways. All kind of things happened among these disciples. Read verse 13.
Verse 13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with the disciples. Okay, now this word ignorant, it could mean, in the Greek, it's called ladotis. It's uninstructed. It could be referred to one who is uninstructed or unskilled or without understanding. So they were looking at them because they didn't have the credentials that they had as being a Pharisee and a Sadducee. They looked upon the educational background of these disciples, but it was something about them that stood out, that went past all of their education. And that was what they spoke. It baffled them. They couldn't come back and try and tear down what these apostles spoke. It came to pass because the Most High was behind it. So he said that they looked at them as ignorant men. They marveled and they took knowledge of them. See, and they took knowledge of them, they understood. But it's something about these men that we don't have. We know that they're unlearned and they're ignorant, but it's something about them that when they speak, it has so much power behind it to where it just condemns everything about us and everything we do. See, they understood this. Go ahead, verse 14, Nagad. Verse 14. And beholding, the man which was healed, standing with them, they could say nothing against it.
See, and that's one of the reasons right there why they couldn't come back and say anything about what the apostles were saying. Because of the fact that the evidence was right there. The evidence was the lame man standing with them. So how could they deny the fact that this man was healed? Because he was standing right there with them. Right there in their presence. So it couldn't be denied. Read.
Verse 16. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle has been done by them. He manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it.
So right here, they saying a notable thing has been done. And they couldn't deny that notable thing. Read.
Verse 17. But that it spread no further among the people, let us straightly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in their name.
And see, now they finna threaten them. See, and that's what happened to us on last Saturday when we went out on the streets, brothers. Y'all know that. But for those who are listening, when we was out there on the streets last Saturday, we were actually threatened by giving me a citation. Don't come back here with that foolishness.
But if the Most High says the same, we'll be right back out there again today. And see, the thing is that when the Most High is backing you, it ain't nothing to fear. It's not. Because we're going to be threatened. Matter of fact, some of us are actually going to go to jail one day for preaching this. But see, and that's why me, personally, I harp on integrity. I do, because of the fact that we got to have it. We got to have integrity, and we got to have wisdom. See, even when Christ, watch this, Christ never compromised, but he had wisdom about everything he did. Even when they brought him before the council and made accusations against him, Christ always had a word that would cause the pressure to alleviate up off of him, because he knew that it wasn't his time yet. I know it's not my time, brothers, and your times for us to cease from going out on these streets. One of us might be arrested. See, it was a ticket last week. It might be to jail tonight, or somebody might get socked. I mean, we're putting ourselves in a position to experience what they experienced in this book right here. See, this book right here is real. And when you apply it like it's real, these things become real in your life. They happens to you. And if we live in this, it's bound to happen to us. Because remember who we represent. If they hated him, no, they're going to hate you when you live in it. But when you shaking and faking it, everybody will accept you, because they know you ain't real. It's like, oh, he faking it. He real flaky. It's like he don't mean it. He don't really mean it. It's like, woe unto you when man say all manner of good about you. The Most High ain't too pleased with you. So when people speak well about you and can gravitate to you and just get along with you like that, that means there's something about you that looks like them, that they can identify. I'm talking about folk that are living like a hellion, that ain't even trying to follow this truth. Now, it's one thing if the Most High is dealing with them and got you dealing with them. But if people just like you and they ain't trying to live this truth, it's something about your life that they can identify with. And we need to examine it and take an inventory and see what it is about us that looks like them, so my life can affect their life, so the Most High can be glorified. See, this is why these brothers right here got threatened, because their life looked like Christ. They were identifying themselves with Christ. That's why that's why those Sanhedrins and those Pharisees took note of them, because their lives was lining up with Christ's life. Go ahead, read, Nagad.
Verse 18. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yeshua.
And that's what that police officer told me. He told me that. When he had me standing over there talking to me, he said, remember, you are responsible for what you say out here. And whatever you say, you're going to get a reaction from it. So it's best to just kind of watch what you say. That's what he was saying, in other words. Just be careful what you say and just preach the gospel, to where it won't ruffle no feathers. And you'll be all right, not just with us, but with them too. See, that's pretty much what he was saying. But then I, in return, said, and we'll be back out here again next Sabbath, doing the same thing. And he said, oh, well, just remember,